This video will give you an essential kit of knowledge and applications that you as a person and a company will need in order to thrive and differentiate yourself in the market. So we're gonna cannonball straight into the skills, and with each skills the application that you would couple with that in order to get good results. So number one is APIs. If you have zero experience with APIs, this may seem quite frightening at first, but it's not that difficult to wrap your head around at all. To put it in simple terms, an API is like a phone number but for software. There's two things you can do on a phone call, either listen or to speak. And this in API terms is get and post. So a get request is used to retrieve data and information from a server without modifying it, aka listening. And a post request then sends data to server to create or update something, often resulting in changes, aka speaking. Now for the tool related to this, which is make.com, where you can automatically automate processes in your workflow and work with the help of APIs and LLMs. For example, if I post on LinkedIn, then a GET request could get triggered, which sees that post that it gets uploaded, retrieves it and all its information. Then after that, a post request gets triggered on an API from example Facebook and creates a post on my Facebook page using the info from my LinkedIn post, meaning that I don't have to manually go and repost everything to all the different channels. I can just post on one channel and then get the APIs to distribute it automatically for me in that way. And then skill number two, which is prompting. This might not come as a huge surprise, but it's still as relevant today as it was 1 or 2 years ago. I won't give a huge class on how to prompt in this video, but if you want that, I could do a separate video for that as well. But just to give you a quick 1-minute course, I'll say this. Number one, when you're talking to an AI, you need to remember that you're talking to AI, you're not talking to your mom. So for example, I would not write in this type of style when prompting. For example, hey, I was thinking that maybe you could help me out a little with writing an email to this boss I have, etc., etc. Instead, you would write in a more clear formats such as this. You're an expert copywriter. Your task is to write an email. This email is to my boss, etc., etc. Then secondly, I will give you just a general format that is just great for creating detailed prompts, and if you just follow this, you will do fantastic. So first thing is you give it a role. For example, you're an accountant, you're a copywriter, or you're a lawyer. Then after that, you give the task that you want it to perform, and then after that, you list all the specifics that you want done related to that task. Then you would then give it the context that it would need in order to do a good job. And then optionally you can add examples of how a user request would look like and what an ideal answer would be. And then lastly, also in an optional sense as well, you could then add some notes at the end of the prompt that restates the most important parts of the prompt that you want emphasized. And just with those two things, it will take you quite far when it comes to prompting compared to the average person. So then to continue on the same track with applications is prompmetheus, which is an application where you can scientifically test, forge and optimize your prompts so that you can avoid just throwing your prompts like spaghetti at the wall to just see what sticks. And then of course it's the LLMs that you would use these prompts on. I won't go into grave detail about LLM at all in this video, but I will just simply tell you really quickly what models are best for different use cases. Note that the date of me saying this is February 6, 2025, so things kind of changed on the date that you're watching this video, since development is moving very fast right now. So for coding, the number one model that I would use, which is quite a bit better than all the other ones, is O3 Mini High from OpenAI. It's absolutely fantastic. It just came out very recently. But if you're not playing for a Plus account on OpenAI, so you can't use this, then I would just suggest you use DeepSeek R1, which is completely free and almost as good, but it's not quite there. Another honorable mention is Claude Artifacts. Artifacts function is really good since you can just get instant feedback and instantly see what your code is doing natively inside the same window that you're that the AI is producing the code, aka you can see it being displayed and running at the same time, which is you can't do on the other models. And another honorable mention is using both for coding as well. For research, I would use Perplexity.ai. Perplexity is very similar to ChatGPT, but it's just way better at being connected to the internet and doing research on the internet. Keep in mind that Google Research also have a model that does something similar to this, but also OpenAI is also releasing their own deep research model soon, so we'll see if they'll be able to beat Perplexity AI or not in that front. But currently, research Perplexity.ai. So skill number 3, it's data and data safety. If you need data analytics and info to make database decisions, again, I would suggest that you use O3 Mini for that as well. But then there's also one thing that we need to address, which is you should not share any sensitive data with these companies or in these LLM chats that I've talked about so far. But like, what do we want to do if we would want to use an LLM, but we need to share some sensitive data? Fix that, I would just simply download Jan.ai, where you're using this model, but everything is happening locally on your computer, so you won't have to worry about any data leaks at all. And then to round things off with the final step, I want to end on some visual stuff. So if you're in need of graphics and hate having to create everything yourself in Canva, for example, I would recommend that you use napkin.ai, which creates world-class graphics in a matter of seconds that are perfectly aligned with your text. And then lastly, after that, is a Flux LoRa model. A Flux LoRa is a perfect use case for companies selling physical products or companies in need of a lot of different and unique pictures of specific people. Why? Well, you can just simply train it with around 30 people of a face, a t-shirt, a car, or maybe a pair of glasses. And then you will have the full freedom of placing these objects in any environment or light that your imagination could think of. And the results are pretty amazing, especially thinking of how little it costs to train one of these models. So don't forget to reach out if you're in need of any AI consulting/development. And that's it for me, and bye.